Someone asked me if the Spiky SubD ball can also work on a rectangle or even on a wavy surface. And yes, absolutely. There's really just one thing you need to keep in mind. This was roughly my script last time. Very simple. It just takes the icosphere from Weaverbird. It divides it with the Catmull-Clark subdivision. Then I used the stellate tool. And by the way, you can try other tools here. There's more than just this. There's bevel edges, bevel vertices, mesh window, picture frame. There are a lot of different tools you can actually try. This is just one example. So, and try, because you can't really destroy anything. If your computer freezes, restart your Rhino and try it again. But that was basically it. So this was the first subdivision. I then subdivided further, and then I make another set of spikes. And you can control the big spikes and the smaller ones. And this is just me trying to make it look a bit better on the screen. Using the subdivision tool to make it soft. Then I translate it back into a mesh. From SubD to mesh, I extract the mesh boundaries just to be able to display the curves or the boundaries. And then I also have a material. So it's, yeah, super simple. You can just have a look and copy that if you want. But yeah, how does it work if we just have a rectangle? Think of this. You create a surface, whatever shape or volume you want. The important thing is you need to translate it to a mesh. And then you can just use really anything. Let's do this. So let's say I don't have an icosphere. I have a surface. Let's create a simple surface. That's my surface. And I bring this into Grasshopper. Now the problem is I cannot place this here. It doesn't work. This is because it's just not a mesh. So what we need to do is we can use the mesh from surface tool, which is this, and it allows us to be very specific on how many mesh faces I have in which direction. So I could just use a number slider. Let's start with one subdivision in this direction. In the redirection, one subdivision. By the way, the minimum can only be 1, not 0. Let's just keep this in mind. Otherwise we might get into troubles. And let's add more here. Let's add more subdivisions on that side so we can really crank that up. Okay. Now that is a mesh that can go in here. And you can see it already works. But now it's a bit crazy. So let's say I don't want to subdivide it right away. I just actually only want to grow the spikes. Let's just grow the spikes. So that would be my first spiky surface. I just put this in here. I disregard whatever is in here. I don't want that. And I make this less. The divisions in the U direction. Just for now, I just make a preview here so you see this better. I can grow the spikes larger if I want. So you can see it better. We can also hide this. Okay. And now you can play with the amount of spikes you want. Let's have 3 spikes per row. And we could make this even more spiky. If I subdivide it even further, let's say 2, then we get something like this. And let's turn this off. Looks absolutely weird. Okay, if we go a bit lower, that's pretty strange. If we lower this to 1, that's also possible. We get something like this. Also looks strange. Make it even lower, then you get something like this. So yeah, just keep in mind, this is pretty much how it works. Let's try the same with a box. Okay, the box is slightly different. It's always the same idea. You need to first translate your geometry into a mesh. In a way it's very similar, but it doesn't work with this tool here because this only works with surfaces which have naked edges. So what we need is really a different tool. It's called Mesh B-Wrap. So you can place here your B-Wrap or geometry and place this in here. And you can still change here the settings. You can change directly the mesh settings here with minimum number of grid squads. The other way you could do this is to, if you have a more complex, if you have something more complex, this also works. Could also work with this, but probably slightly, yeah, it still works. Looks quite crazy. But then you could also try to use the quad remesh tool. Usually that's a bit better because it gives you a bit more control over your surface, because you can control the target count. I like this tool here because it gives you very clear options on how to subdivide your mesh. If I put this here, I get a much more smoother option. Don't know what that is, but it looks a bit like a sea cucumber. Back to render, quite interesting. Now, one thing we haven't tried is the wavy surface, but it's actually even more simple. Let's detach this here. I make a very simple wavy surface, not very elegant, but sometimes simplicity beats the complex scripts. So if I have this, I can place this into my surface tool. I probably want to see my mesh boundaries here, so it's easier to work through that, and I can adjust here the subdivisions much better. And if I put this in here, now see, and now I need my flipping tool, flip mesh. Yeah, so yeah, imagine this is a air mattress. I hope that answers the question. See you in one of the next videos. Ciao.